Big story on Action News today is the shooting that's hospitalized a 14-year-old boy who was riding his bicycle at the time. Action News reporter Bob Brooks live at the police department in Hunting Park this afternoon. Bob, neighbors are telling you they're fed up. They've had enough.
Yeah, Brian and Shari, neighbors say they are absolutely disgusted by this. They say a lot of times their young men simply don't have the right role models, and the end result now is something tragic like this.
He was 14. He was 14.
To say there's anger after a 14-year-old was shot in the face and neck would be an understatement. Neighbors are outraged.
These little boys out here, I see them and I want something for them. I can't just not say nothing.
And they're blaming this on those they say who are up to simply no good in their community.
What is going on? When is we going to want better for ourselves and better for our children?
The teen is now in extremely critical condition at St. Christopher's Hospital. At a news conference at 2 o'clock, Philadelphia Police Captain Nicholas Brown told us his injuries are severe.
The bullet severed an artery that was in his neck, so it's a very, very serious injury.
The captain also says another man was shot. That victim is 25 years old. He was shot 8 times in the legs. It all happened in the 3100 block of North Park Avenue. According to police, it was around 12:30 a.m. The 25-year-old and 14-year-old were out on Park Ave. It's unclear what they were doing, but they were ambushed by 2 gunmen.
So it appears that 2 shooters have cornered these 2 guys in the middle and fired upon them.
Police said the 2 victims know each other, and the 25-year-old appears to be the intended target. At this point, the only description police have of the shooters is they were in dark clothing. And after the shots were fired, they took off on foot. And today we watched as multiple detectives combed through the neighborhood for evidence. And neighbors looked on, hopeful that detectives find something that can lead to an arrest and their community can begin to heal.
We all can love each other, we all can respect each other, and we can all do better. We can do so much better.
Now, police say there are several surveillance cameras in that area, but at this point in the investigation, no video has turned up. They hope that changes.
May Allah forgive Muawiyah, Jalil, Meekins, for any sins. May he protect him from the punishments and trials of the grave. May he make his grave spacious with light, and may he allow his grave to have the sweet fragrance of Jannatul Firdaus. May he allow him to answer the 3 questions in the grave swiftly and correctly. May he lighten the heartache of his parents, siblings, family and friends and give them ease and contentment with such a tremendous loss. Allahumma Ameen. This was the prayer read at the Janazah service of Lil Mu. Mu was born in March of 2003. This is going to be a quick, but cautionary tale about taking responsibility for your kid's life. Lil Mu's father wasn't around his whole life. His older siblings would take care of Mu, more than his own father. His mother tried her best as a single mom, but worked late nights and didn't know her son would sneak out to sell drugs. He lived near 28th and Allegheny. In 2018, when Lil Mu was only 14 years old, he was recruited by an older guy in the neighborhood to sell drugs for him at Park Avenue and Lippincott. This older guy, let's just call him LK, brought Mu around, and Mu started to run it up. For his age, he was able to move a lot. They had Lil Mu play the graveyard shift usually with another young bull. Another young bull that used to play Park Ave heavy just came home. Let's call him RG. Lil Mu and RG used to bump heads until they became close. But they were both LK's young bulls. So he was able to keep their relationship cordial as long as they kept making LK money. LK gave them work, trap phones, guns, weed, money, and everything they needed. Except for proper guidance. He gave them whatever they needed to feel comfortable on the block because they were his main 2 runners. Lil Mu, as we said, is from up 28th Street and RG is from around 13th Street. As the summer of 2018 rolled around, Mu and RG started to become a little closer. The older dude LK felt like since he had Park Ave and Lippincott he can expand. So he tried to expand to 13th and Hilton. But that was already being run by a dude named Vito. But Hilton Street wasn't really poppin' at the moment and nobody was really out there making any real money. Vito finds out that LK has a bunch of people on his 13th Street corner. Vito ends up sending someone to shoot at the people LK put out there. Lil Mu was one of many people who was outside when a young bull on a bike came around and started shooting from a half block away. He ended up hitting someone but they weren't seriously injured. Someone that was out there that day saw the shooter and chased him down, and killed him. LK literally had that block for a day, and after that it was over. Weeks later LK, Lil Moo, and RG went to go spin on Vito. Vito was in the car with a female when the trio arrived and shot the car up, which was parked right on Hilton Street. LK was the driver and had the two young bulls do the shooting. They lit the car Vito was sitting in up. Somehow Vito survived, but he was in a coma for weeks.
In the bull 2-3 will, and as we talking right now, strapped with a still. You talking about you real, that'll get you killed. As you walking down my block, giving out tops. Dog man Reef, he's smoking on a reefer. See your out there catching you.
Not too long after he came out of the coma, he was able to tell his folks who shot the car up, and about 2 hours later, Park Avenue and Lippincott was spun on. 2 people were shot on the 3100 block of North Park Avenue on Monday, August 20, 2018. At 12:23 a.m., Philadelphia police officers responded to the scene and found Muaia Meekins, or Lil Moo, suffering from a devastating gunshot wound. A second shooting victim, a 29-year-old black male, was found lying a few feet away. Muaia was taken to Temple University Hospital, where he was admitted in critical condition. Unfortunately, Muaia did not survive the shooting. Muaia Meekins was 14 years old. He resided on the 3200 block of North Marston Street in Philadelphia. At the time of his death, Lil Moo's mom was a nurse, who worked overnight. So that's how he was able to sneak out at night and hustle the graveyard shift. LK was the one who put Moo in all this shit, to begin with. Had him shooting back and forth and ultimately losing his life over a feud with someone he didn't even know, and over blocks that already had a long-time rivalry. As for the person who shot Moo, his house was shot up in retaliation. It's a sad story for real, and we try to tell the kids coming up today that this lifestyle leads to nowhere but death or jail. Get out and live life while you can, become something of yourself, and just know that there is life outside these little skinny blocks and the concrete jungle we call Philadelphia.